The Toronto Blue Jays have officially signed Jordan Luplow, and he's a left-handed masher, and he can actually play a role a lot sooner than many fans might think. And finally, the Rogers Center renovations have been revealed, so I'll break that down and much more in this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. I'm glad to be back in this episode. Shout out to Nick for holding it down. I've had a lot of problems here in Montreal. Power outages, over half the city is blacked out here. So I got some power today. I salvaged a little bit of something, so glad to be back. But thank you for all the support that you've given to Nick while I've been away. It means the world to me and Nick as well.
Yeah, sport's been great. Make sure to hit the subscribe button as we continue to pump out daily content, sometimes even 2 pieces of content and 3 in yesterday's case. So make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want that. And we have a lot of news to get into today before this afternoon's game. So let's just begin with the Jays make a sneaky signing. And like you alluded to in the intro, Peter, he could make an impact for the Jays this year if any injuries are to happen or if maybe the Blue Jays are struggling. So we are referring to the roster moves. Outfielder Jordan Luplow has been claimed off waivers from the Braves and optioned to AAA. And if you're unfamiliar with him, we'll get into it now. He is a left-handed masher. And we'll get into the stats here now. Thomas Hall is saying the Blue Jays have found a right-handed hitter who hits well versus left-handed pitching. He has a career 500 plus slugging, 280 ISO, 355 WOBA, and a 125 WRC plus versus left-handed pitchers. Nice waiver claim there, Ross. Now, Peter, I'll get into his actual stats in Baseball Savant in a second, but what were your initial thoughts on this waiver claim? I mean, there's no harm, it's just a waiver claim, but this could be very, very good for the Jays.
It's a depth signing, and the reason why I said in the introduction that he could have an impact a lot sooner than some fans may think, it's because a series against the Los Angeles Angels is coming up. And there are 3 left-handed starters in that series going for the Angels. There's going to be no Ohtani. It's 3 lefties in a row. I think Patrick Sandoval is one of them. I'm not sure about the other 2. Jose Quijada is another one that I'm sure they're going to see. But 3 lefties, and Jordan Luplow has an 831 OPS, I believe, against left-handed pitching, so that's elite. That's really good. The power is there. He's more of a platoon guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets added to the 40-man, if some sneaky way of making room by Ross Atkins happens, and then he takes over for Nathan Lucas in that Los Angeles Angels series. So we'll see. It remains to be seen, but I do think he can play an impact a lot sooner than many might think.
Yeah, that's a good point. And against lefties, Nathan Lucas obviously will never play. We have so many righties, but something else about Jordan Luplow that we'll get into in a minute. But like you said, he mashes lefties, and here I don't have the splits put up, but you can even see in 2021, which was last year or the year before last, he had 100 plus OPS plus. In 2019 in 85 games, he had a 136 OPS plus with a 900 plus OPS. Like, he can straight out hit. And look at his Baseball Savant, and this is something I wanted to touch on quickly. Not only can he, hit against lefties, obviously he'll never play against righties, but he has 96th percentile arm strength, and he has a very, very strong arm in the outfield, so he isn't a defensive liability like many of the options that we've been discussing for the 4th outfielders could be. He has a very good arm, which means it's much easier to slide him in for a game or a spot start here and there against lefties.
And the best case scenario is that he contributes to the Major League Ball Club and he does what he's supposed to do. He crushes lefties. Worst case scenario, he's a AAA depth piece. And there's nothing wrong with either of those scenarios. So it's always good to have those guys as insurance in AAA. And if they pan out, they pan out. But if they don't, it's just it's a low risk, high reward type of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very low risk. There's really no risk at all, and the reward could be big, and maybe he has a bounce back. But let us know what your thoughts are on that signing. I know a lot of you wanted us to cover it, so we are doing that today. And something that literally just happened about half an hour ago was the Rogers Center reveal. Now, Peter, I don't know if you were able to fully see it with all the power outages there, but if not, and for the viewers as well, we have some clips for you, and we'll start off with the clips, and then we'll show you some pictures. But the red carpet or the red ribbon cutting was officially done, and you can see it here. I got the clip for you. The red ribbon was cut, and this is what the outfield looks like from home plate. And there's a lot we can get into. We'll just do our initial reaction. We might break it down more in the live stream later today, but center field wall is so low. The walls are very, very different. And Peter, what are your initial thoughts on this?
It looks cool, and I can't wait to see it live and in person on April 11th. I'll be at opening day against the Detroit Tigers, so I'll let you know, Nick. I'll let you know what I truly think of it when I do get to see it. I don't want to make you jealous, right? No, I'm just kidding. But you'll be able to catch it soon enough, and we'll catch a game together as well. But I'm super stoked to just see the new vibe, the new atmosphere. It's a new team in a partially new stadium, so it's just good vibes all around, and I'm excited to see what it looks like in person.
Yeah, and it looks like Kevin Kiermaier will be having a field day in center field, robbing home runs, because
Oh yeah,
obviously it's super far away, so it's obviously not super, super short, but it is much shorter than what it used to be. And I have
it's
one
10
more.
feet. It's
Yeah,
10 feet, I
10 feet, I
believe. Yeah.
believe. I think so. Yeah, 10 or 8. But here's also a look at the new, I guess, fan section above the bullpen there, or that's the bullpen there, the fan section above it with the balloons in there. And elevated bullpen now. Everything's looking super exciting, and I have some other screenshots for you all just to give you the full rundown from the new social area, which is very, very nice. A very good touch. It makes the Rogers Center feel a bit less corporate and a bit more like a ballpark, which is something that was much needed in my opinion. You can see that here, and finally you can look at this here. But Peter, I'm super excited for it, and I'm very excited for the fan section and the new leisure things that they have on the go. And if you want to find out more, go on Twitter. Hazel May, I think tons of other people who are actually at the ballpark for the reveal today posted stuff, but we just got the screenshots for you. But what are your thoughts on the new areas? And I'm sure you'll be enjoying on April 11th and for years to come.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a great addition to the ballpark. And not that there weren't many young people at Blue Jays games before, but I think now you're going to see an influx of a younger crowd just because of the cheaper ticket prices, the $20 general admission on a Tuesday night if you're in Toronto and you're not doing anything. Hey, why don't we go to the Jays game? It's 20 bucks. Let's go to the Corona rooftop patio or whatever it is, and let's go enjoy a beer over there and watch a Blue Jays game. I mean, what's better than that? Obviously, I'm speaking as a baseball fan and as a diehard Blue Jays fan, but just as a young casual sports fan in general, I would be interested to check it out at least once in the season and see what the vibe is like. See if I could go out there and meet some new people as well. So it just seems like a cool thing all around. It's a great way to get an influx of young people into the stadium, and I think that was the goal here by Rogers.
Yeah, and like you said, the $20 tickets, that could be the start for someone if they want to come in, see what it's like, and then they'll probably buy tickets from there for future games, more expensive ones, which I'm sure
Exactly.
is the goal of Rogers, but it's more catered towards I guess maybe a fan experience. As of before, it was more of a, I don't know, it felt a bit corporate to me, or I don't know if corporate's the word. It didn't seem like a ballpark as much as some of the other ones. So I'm glad that they were able to make some renovations there. But do you have any final thoughts on that before we move on to the final topic?
Yeah, it's a good point that you make there. I wouldn't necessarily say it's corporate just
Yeah, I don't
because
know if
the
that's the word.
atmosphere is it's really good. It's a really good
Amazing.
atmosphere,
Yeah.
and I can't knock the fans in there, but it's very
Industrial,
generic
maybe.
in a
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, it's very generic. Like all the seats are close together. There's no like wrinkles, different wrinkles in the ballpark. Everything is uniform. The walls were the exact same all the way around. So this adds a little bit of diversity to the ballpark, and it just I don't know, it adds a uniqueness in a sense that probably wasn't there before these renovations. So it's cool to see as a Jays fan, and I can't wait to see it in person.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And let us know if you're going to opening day, and hopefully it'll be good. But finally, the final topic before we wrap up, because the Blue Jays do play in a couple hours, is just a quick touch on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And Peter, I know you weren't here in yesterday's solo video. I touched on it a little bit here, but I'm going to pop up this screenshot here now. Vladdy ranks in the 100th percentile in max exit velo this season. And here's another reminder of why, of course, he hit his amazing home run. But I just want to touch on this. He has been absolutely crushing the ball harder than anyone in baseball. And something else to quickly note, he has 69th percentile sprint speed, which is very, very interesting. So he's running the bases really well. Of course, outs above average as a first baseman is a bit skewed. But what have you liked or what have you seen from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. so far in the season? Because I didn't get to get your take on it yesterday.
So after the first 3 games, I think his outs above average was about like 80 or 85 or something. So he was just the greatest player to ever walk the face of the earth for those 3 first games. But his Statcast numbers have always been off the charts, at least in the offensive
Yeah.
perspective. I mean, he hits the ball harder than everybody. And this year he's implemented a better approach at the plate as well. He's only struck out once in his 29 plate appearances. I don't think that's something that's sustainable over the course of 600 at bats, which is something that he'll have. But I mean, he looks good. He looks like a more disciplined hitter, and once he starts getting the ball in the air, I mean, we always say this with Vladdy. Oh, once he hits the ball in the air, he's the best. But Buck said, that's his swing path. He hits the ball, line drives, and he hits the ball on the ground quite a lot. But if you hit it hard, you give yourself a chance to get on base. And the home runs are going to come. He's going to finish with 35 plus home runs and 100 plus RBIs. So Vladdy is Vladdy. He's doing Vladdy things, and he looks like a better all around player this year than he did last season.
Yeah, way better. His approach looks better. And like you said, he hasn't struck out very many times at all. One time throughout his 29 plate appearances. And hopefully that keeps up. Obviously not to that extreme level, but just continuing to see the ball well. And he's going to be an unbelievable player, and maybe he'll have another MVP season like he did in 2021. But that'll wrap up the news video. Thank you guys for watching. The support's been unbelievable. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys later today or tomorrow.
Thanks.